What up guys, Vince Lundy here, going behind the scenes on another new music video. This one is for a metal hip-hop fusion band out of Cincinnati, Ohio. They're called The World I Knew. The song is called Hype Nation, and it's really cool because it incorporates, hip-hop beats just with like really metal, like chugging guitars and stuff. So let's jump right in. I'm gonna show you guys how I shot it, how I lit it, and just some of the behind the scenes shenanigans that went down. So pretty much everything in the video was happening all in this one little room. So for lighting, it was a little bit difficult because it was, white walls are a little bit tough, because the light's gonna bounce around and you don't really know where it's gonna go, and it's just gonna show up in places where you really don't want it. So it's a bit tough, but filling out the background definitely helped, and having some color contrast in there helped as well. So as you can see in the back of the room behind the band, we have those 3 window panes up really high. I knew that I wanted to stick a light and shine a light through them and kind of act as like a background light to the set, and also hit them and give them a little fill light on the back of their head and shoulders and whatnot to separate them from the background. So as you can see here, we actually luckily we had on the other side of this a roof to work on. So it was a little sketchy getting up, definitely not OSHA approved, but you work with what you have. So I was able to climb up there, and I had my little brother Marty who was assisting. He did behind the scenes and grip and PA and stuff like that. He just lifted up the gear right to me, and I was able to get it all set up there. So luckily that roof was there, and we were able to just set the lights right on top of the roof and shine them right through. We used some RE1K Fresnels, and I just put some gels on them. I put a yellow and a blue, or a teal kind of color, and acted as a great background light to fill out the scene. So if you look at the lights on the outside, the teal ones, we did a really cool effect with those. I actually had those set on a switch, just like an on-off switch, and with the beat, I had my PA Marty just go back and forth, left and right, to the beat of the song. It just gave the scene a little bit of life and a little bit of energy, and stuff like that when you're shooting a music video, especially in one location. Stuff like that goes a really long way. Moving the light, flickering, anything like that is gonna add a ton of energy. So it just doesn't look still and stagnant. It's moving along with the band, like the set's moving and the lights are moving with them, and it just creates a really good, really big energy on set. So for the key lights of the main scene, I used a 4-foot rainbow quasar tube, and I think we had that set to yellow. You can really dial in any color on those lights, which is super awesome. And for the main key light, the white key light on the other side of his face was a 2-foot Kino Select that we had balanced to daylight. So we got a little bit of the white light on the one side and the color light on the other side, and almost like I'm doing right here in just my little home office lighting setup. It's kind of the same deal where you get a really nice color contrast and a bit of depth to it, rather than just sticking a light directly and shining both sides of their face, which is, it works, it'll get the job done, but you lose a bit of depth, some of the shadows in the face, some of the edging. In addition to the lights in the background and the key lights in the front and the flickering lights also in the back, another layer of depth I added to the scene was I just brought my fog machine in and just fogged it out, got some haze going, and adding that fog just adds another layer of depth and gives another level of mood and atmosphere to the scene.
What's happening? Straight back again with another dope drop traffic again. Stepping out the lab, we trapping it. Put the Queen CD back on the map again. Trap metal man, we paint the lane. 10 toes down, bitch, you run the game. All the other lanes all sound the same. T-Dub, I can't, that's fucking game.
For this music video, of course, I use my Canon C200, which I use on pretty much all of my music videos, unless it's like a really, really low budget run and gun type thing. I'll use like my 5D or something like that and just one lens. But I love my C200. I think I shot everything in MP4, which does a really good job. I don't shoot everything in cinema raw light just because it takes up a lot of space, and unless the budget's a little bit higher, I tend to just shoot in MP4 just to save a little bit of space, and it really does a good job. Everything was handheld on this. I did bring my Movi Pro, which I wanted to use, but honestly we just didn't have a ton of time. I think the venue only gave us about 4 or 5 hours, so we were really moving kind of quick, and especially with doing the lightings and different setups, that time gets chewed away pretty quick. So it wasn't a huge deal. Handheld on a metal music video is never a bad thing. So after I did the full band scene, I went on to do individual shots, and for that I didn't really use the Kino at all. I really just filled their face with either a teal or a yellow. There was 4 guys individually that I had to shoot with the band, so I did 2 of them teal and 2 of them yellow. And that yellow really just played off of the yellow in the background. So That was the color contrast, that was the look, that was the color palette throughout, was the teal and the yellow. So you'll see in the individuals, it was really cool. Without having that bright fill from the Kino, it was just the color. It really created like a moody and emotional, almost like a creepy vibe. So I really enjoyed that look. And of course I had the background lights still flickering. The drums were probably the hardest individual performance to light just because he was so close to the wall. And like I said, these white walls, they're really tough just because light's bouncing everywhere and you can't really control it. So I had a lot of light bouncing from the background, and it took a few minutes, took a little bit of time. But on set, don't be afraid to take your time and slow things down. Sometimes I get worked up a bit and I feel like we have to go. But I took my time on this, and it took me about 10-15 minutes to get right and try a couple different setups. But it was worth it in the end, and I'm really happy with the way it came out. So in addition to the full band setup, I did a couple different additional takes of just the lead singer performing. And I did one inside where I hit him with the yellow light, so it was a nice contrast to the teal light that was hitting him in the wide setup. And I put him up on this speaker because I really wanted him to be almost closer to those lights in the background. You could see the panes are really high up, and if he was just on the regular height of the ground, I would really have to get low to see those lights in the background, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be like shooting up his nose. So I put him a little higher. Again, this is another example of movie magic, or just kind of faking it, where you probably would never know that he was standing on everything, but I felt like that was the best way to get him close to those background lights so we could showcase those but not have to sacrifice the angle that we were shooting at. Before we wrapped and actually started tearing down for the night, I knew I wanted to do one or two more just individual performances of the lead singer, and I really like the brick wall outside, you know, the same wall that I was climbing up on earlier to put the lights on top of. So basically we went out and the lighting was super easy. I didn't do anything crazy, literally just took a 4-foot quasar set to teal, put it above him so you could see the top light was teal, and then I had another one just on the ground right behind him, and that kind of filled out the background. So on the top of the frame we had a really cool teal, and on the bottom we have the yellow, and that created just a really cool contrast, and it was really nice because we didn't have the white to worry about everything bouncing off, the light bouncing off. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you learned something. I really hope you're enjoying these videos. Definitely be sure to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for a lot more videos coming this year. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace.